We're in the Western Cape today. We're talking fisheries, agriculture, forestry. We've got Minister, Deputy Minister and various other sector players in those various areas, and we're having this conversation today, and we'd like you to be very much a part of it. And we've got lots of people here as well. Nkosi Zweli Velile is here on table number 3. Nkosi.
Thank you, Peter. Good morning, Minister.
Morning.
I am coming from a rural constituency, Vezokomkhulu. Njengesixaka sabathembu kunyanzelekile ndibuze that rural areas in particularly are highly poverty stricken and also challenged in terms of unemployment. What's the department doing to ensure that we create jobs in those areas? I've been to Malawi and seen a successful program there, One Village, One Product, OVOP, that is focusing on villages. What is the department ensuring that our villages can become sustainable and fully utilize the land that is vested under traditional leaders? And if you can talk directly to the things that the department will be doing in terms of fencing, in terms of dipping facilities, processing facilities, what is the department ensuring that the ordinary citizen seated in rural areas will be capacitated and understand how the market operates so that they can become active participants in the market? Secondly, Peter, the president has just returned from BRICS in Brazil. What is the department doing to ensure that the participants in agriculture, forestry and fisheries will be able to gain access to new markets, particularly in the BRICS countries? Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Nkosi Zweli. I agree with you that rural economies can only depend upon the department making sure that, one, tractors are made available. During the times of plowing seasons, people are able to plant. That fencing is being done to make sure that when that fencing is being done, it should ensure that what is planted is not going to be lost because it is being devoured by cattle. And to make sure that a Litsima program, which has succeeded, by the way, is extended to most villages. To make sure that people have got access to and the availability and visibility of our extension officers will go a long way in advising people what to plant, when to plant. To make sure that those tractors available have good diesel, drivers are trained properly, and we're able to till the land in a way that, and we only do that through Marena de Hoshi, by engaging them so that people buy in these programs, to make sure that each and every village have got access to some form of food production. And as a department, we're committed, as we dispense of the funds to provinces, we'll make sure that we engage our MECs, we work with our staff members to assist people. And I think that if we can make sure that we reach our million target of land to be plowed, it will go a long way in addressing issues of unemployment. People won't leave their villages in look of jobs and come to Joburg, or come to the Western Cape and be classified as some form of other people. But they will find it better to be in their areas of origin so that they can be able to be productive. Only those who produce can live proudly and who can have the vision that a man who cannot feed his family is ridiculed. We must give men back their dignity, and women as well, because it's not about women, not about men alone. Women have been and they've been in agriculture. What they need is state assistance, is sustainability, opening of markets. I agree with the point you are raising that we cannot launch the BRICS Bank without looking at markets. China remains one of the big markets. Our guys don't teach Chinese to plant produce grapes, we must sell them the wine we produce in the Western Cape. We must not give them the skills to do what we are doing. They remain a big market. India is so huge. We must use those markets, and we'll be engaging the Ministry of DTI so that where there are problems, we open them up. But farmers must produce enough for us to send that food that is available. The Minister made a point of saying this, that we transport jobs when we transport food without being processed. We can create more. And I've seen the Secretary of FAO, he's amongst us. And I hope that as we debate with these issues, he does not only see this department alone, he sees the creation of more jobs. As we speak of million jobs, we should speak of quality jobs, where people are individually participating, but also creating jobs. I agree with you, we must expand Ilima. We must expand Kanafatso Yadihomo to make sure that medicine is available. We give people hybrid bulls so that they can change their own cattle. But again, cattle without the program to make sure that feed is made available. Yesterday we met with some other farmers who said that, look, assist those small guys who are coming up in rural areas. Partner with them, give them the expertise so that they're able to be stronger. I know that in the Eastern Cape you have got more cattle, but you lose them in winter because you cannot feed them. And those who come and buy them and put them into feedlots make a better money. We must change the way things have been done. They can only change when our staff is available to work with yourselves to make sure that at Umvezo there is an extension officer who is staying in the house allocated, so that when a sheep is struggling to give birth, he is there to assist. When a goat is sick, he is there to assist. Then we'll realize the dream we have set ourselves. We dare not fail South Africans and fail to make sure that we dent the number of 12 million people without access to food. We must change that.
And Nkosi raised an interesting point about this relationship that we have in this BRICS arena. One of the things that we're seeing is countries like India, for example, will come to Africa, buy land, grow food, and send it back home. And I'm just wondering, are we vulnerable to that kind of thing in this arrangement?
Yes, we are. I had a meeting with the former leader of the Democratic Alliance, the former ambassador to Argentina, Mr. Tony Leon. We're sharing ideas as to how to make sure that we don't only allow people to come to our country and buy farms so that they can produce, but we learn the technique that they use. For instance, the Argentinians are very proud of their no-till program, where you don't disturb the land by tilling, but you only use that planter that tills to make sure that you deal with soil erosion, with land care. Those are things we need to learn. But I don't think it is wise for us to allow them to come and buy farms here. We must be able to produce the products that they need and resell them, because we may end up, that's why there's a debate that the minister is coming up with, ownership of land by foreigners. Is it a good thing to do? So that debate is going to be engaging. You can maybe allow them through them leasing state land and buying it out. But those are issues we are going to deal with going forward. But I don't think we must encourage any other country to buy a farm here and produce. We must encourage them to buy our own products, because if we do that, then we're killing our own ability to farm.
All right. Augustinus Hendricks, Table 11, raises an important issue around young people.
Thank you for the opportunity, Peter. Good morning, Minister. My name is Augustinus Hendricks. I'm the National President of NAFU South Africa. Minister, entry into farming is exuberant because of the exorbitant appreciation in land values and especially development costs. So my question to you is, how are you going to make agriculture more vibrant and attractive, especially for the youth? It is a huge challenge for them, especially one example in the Western Cape, wine is the predominant product that we produce here. And less than 1% of black people has gained access into wine farming up to now. So it is a huge challenge, especially for the youth. We need them in agriculture to ensure long-term sustainability of farming in South Africa. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
How do we make farming sexy and funky for young people?
I think the Deputy Minister has alluded to the meeting he has just addressed, where young people were saying, we don't want to do farming when we're about to retire. We want to do farming when we are young. And I agree with you, it is cool for the youth to be in farming. It can only succeed when we make sure that our training institutions are vibrant. They are able to give them skills. We don't want to encourage young people to join farming as farm employees. We want them to come in as young entrepreneurs with state assistance, and we'll be focusing more in the youth in terms of making sure that assistance is made available. We make sure that we have got enough of our officials are able to work with them. I know that our research institute is already assisting some in making sure that they produce better, they're able to access markets. We will be in partnership. If one thing we need to do, young people have got this unique characteristics that they don't have the patience to wait longer, like that older people have. If you want to get them on, let's say that it is cool. It is.
But do they want to? I mean,
Yes, they want to.
No, they want to wear fancy Italian shoes, suits, and drive German cars. They don't want to drive a bakkie and wear shorts and stand in the sun.
Agriculture is broad. There is also the area of food processing. They can choose in which area they enter into, but we must make it possible. I've seen young guys who are supposed to wear suits but chose overalls. I don't think we must encourage them to wear overalls in promoting political parties. They should wear overalls to promote food production. Therefore, it is cool for the youth to be in overalls, provided they know the objective for which they do it.
Okay.
And we have met with them. I think I have addressed also a seminar of young people. They call themselves One Africa. Our obligation is to feed young people. We have addressed youth formations with the University of Stellenbosch. By the way, we are also taking to such institutions because as they train and acquire degrees, we want them not to go and sell rice. They must come and plant rice and work in production. But they need us to raise our hands. They need us to make sure that those well-established companies are also assisting.
So the private
yes, it is
sector.
possible for the youth to be in farming.
Okay. Marianne is on table 21 and raises...
All right, sorry, that's the Deputy
okay.
Minister.
Deputy Minister?
Peter, I thought like you before. I met the youth that they want only a man and boss and billionaire label. No. They do want to come on board, and they are on board. But one thing that the minister and the ministry need to look at is the market for young people, because they argue that they are not going to come on agriculture for the sake of coming to agriculture. They are young, they want to grow, they want to make wealth. So it's important, the question has been raised about the markets. Remember, we've got the national or internal market that the president and the government is instructed that 75% should be national or should be internal procurement. If they plant, they produce cabbage, they produce eggs and all, our own markets like hospitals, like correctional services must buy from them. They must see the worth in going to the agriculture, not just because they need to go there. But quite several groups that have come, they are really calling on the assistance, the training, the resources, like tractors, like soil, like seeds and all that. So we are working with those groups. You will meet them very soon. I'll invite you to come and address them and see them so that you don't have a problem of thinking that they'll be wearing Amani, but they have no problem to put their green, I repeat, green overalls.
All right, Marianne is on table 21, and this is an interesting question as well. Okay.
I don't really need a mic because I've got natural volume control. I'm from the Eastern Cape. I just fetched my surname there by the general in KZN. I'm Marianne Gomez Zulu. Goeiemorgen almal. Good morning, everyone. Minister, thank you for this opportunity. The first things first, Minister, what are we doing with Israel? We can't send our food there to feed people who are killing children daily. If we keep quiet about that, it means we agree with it. Every day, Minister, we see new pictures of children being killed. We were there. We must never forget where we're coming from. Please stop all trade with Israel.
Okay.
Minister, then the next question. You know, you'll find out that I'm not very popular in the forest sector, but I represent you. I represent communities on your behalf. Now, Minister, you paying your worker a lot, 2,400. It's not what people in the forest sector earn. And every time I raise this, I get bullied, I get attacked, but I continue to talk about that because other people like yourselves they've done worse things to you. I'm sitting here with the leader of MKMVA, and he constantly inspires me because I know the story of MKMVA. I'm saying, Minister, in Naisna, as we are sitting here, people are being offered 70,000 rand to move out of forestry communities. Naisna don't have houses for under 450,000 rand. This is the forest sector that keeps on pushing reports and telling us how wonderful they are. They are not. They're paying their workers 2,200 rand a month and deduct 200 rand for transport on an open truck. Now, Minister, I can entertain all of you here with horror stories about that, but it's not my aim. We'll talk after this, and I'm very happy to see the General keeps on telling us this country didn't just come out of nowhere in 1994. This company's been here for a long time, including the forest sector, which was started in 1930, commercial forests. So we must stop giving people chances with this. Also, very important, Minister, when we look at the realignment of your charters, it's very, very important that you send me somebody to represent you and your office.
Okay.
Because some of your officials don't always give your mandate that you put in your speeches. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much indeed. So she's raised a number of issues. One, a political one, is there space in policy to deal with issues such as the one she raised in Israel? And then secondly, she's accused forestry, Naisna particularly, are not fair play, and that you're not always best represented by some of your people.
Thanks for the issues she has raised. Some of them are really touchy. I agree with her that there's no room for people to kill one another. There's a room for coexistence. The state of Israel should coexist with the state of Palestine with respect, and to make sure that there is no more killing of people. And I believe that our government will make sure that we play our role. And I agree we were together with the PLO in the struggle, but we must make sure that our voice is heard. But on the issue of forestry, we will have to make sure that we pay a visit to Naisna. I know Naisna is rich on that, but I would call upon our officials in the forestry industry to make sure that we follow up on the issues we have raised. Our stand is that where there are localities, they should not be moved out of the forest. If the move is made to expand, but they become part of ownership. Forests cannot exist within communities, but outside them in terms of benefits. And I think that we need to make sure that we fast-track this program going forward. We make sure that it happens. There can be no way people are just... I think we have been moved so many a times. We don't need any movement anymore. What we need is participation and being part of what is being done, participating in the economy to make sure those forests are continuing. I think that the Ministry of Labor should make sure that together with our ministry, ensure that farm workers are paid accordingly. Farm workers are paid accordingly so that we don't, the issue you are raising about deductions for transport, they don't choose to be transported. They're transported because they're going to do work. So those are things we need to deal with going forward. And I think that as we expand the forestry industry, we should change the way things have been happening. But I believe that a voice like yours is important to make sure that those things are dealt with. And I'm sure our department will make sure that where there have been failures, we rectify those. And thanks for coming.
All right, a couple of tweets from Brad Lee. And one, I think, is expressing a fear that might be there. He says, white commercial farmers should not be seen as an enemy, rather as a valuable resource to help drive the emerging agriculture. And I just wonder, is there an us and them scenario here? And then he also says, medical graduates do their community work. I know this is something you've raised with vets. Could agricultural graduates not do a year's community service as well?
Thank you very much. First point of Bradley, if there is a view that says there is an agenda to marginalize and target commercial farmers, it is misplaced. We value commercial farmers because they play a very major role in the economy of the country. That's why we have been having consistent meetings. By the way, we are more agreeing with them than we agree with the opposition. They know very well that they're important. I've spoken about the issue of security to make sure that farmers are secure, to make sure that they are not targets of those who attack them. And also that we do our work to make sure that the access to markets is being taken up. And I don't think that any of the formations here should feel that they are not part of the program going forward. And on the last issue of how do we make sure that our vets are part, yes, is what we are saying, that we will make sure that our vets spend time in communities rendering service. And by the way, to those small farmers, we do have OBP. His task is to produce medicine for animals. Don't struggle to buy expensive medicine. There's one that is of high standard produced by our own department. We want to make sure that you access that. There are people who are targeted. So as a department, we don't believe that smallholder farmers will be at the expense of the support to the commercial farmers. But they need different support going forward. So Bradley must remain assured that for the call he's making, he's amplifying the call we're making. That for them to start their own private operations, they must start by rendering that service to those who need it more. By the way, we have just bought in the previous years 30 mobile clinics to make sure that dogs, pigs, and cats can be taken care of as human beings are. Already we have dispatched some of them, and we're going to dispatch more so that no village must not be able to access those. That is the work that this department is doing. It is us who must tell it. Where it does not reach your village, call us so that we know where they are stationed.
All right. We're running out of time, and perhaps just as a final thought, if you could share with us, we've got these marching orders, we're on a clock. What sort of timelines have you placed in front of yourself, and what sort of things can we see happening by such and such a date, by such and such a date? What do you commit to?
We commit to make sure that we reach out to communities, already done that. But to make sure that before the plowing season hits, the issue of fencing has been taken care of, and I'm sure our provinces are aware of that. That every cent deployed to provinces is spent accordingly. That we can account how many tractors are available for plowing. But more than that, to ensure that as we engage with commercial farmers, where there are issues dealing with markets, together with them, but through the Department of Trade and Industry. Yesterday, there were good news that in signing off the agreement, there are more avenues now to access the markets in the EU. That's the kind of work that the ANC government is doing. But I can assure you, we dare not fail the president. In failing him, we're failing South Africans. And those who need us more are those 12 million South Africans who don't know where their next meal will come from. Therefore, I believe, that as a team, as the ministry, we're committed. If we're committed, we're going to pull our officials screaming to the field. Once we hear that an official of our department has not been able to assist communities, there will be repercussions, but we will not dismiss anybody, but we'll make them work. It is what they are in for.
All right, and that's where we're going to have to leave it. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been in conversation with the Honourable Minister of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries, Minister Senzeni Zokwana. Thank you very much indeed. And also Deputy Minister General Bheki Cele, thank you very much indeed for your thoughts, your time and your commitment. And we certainly wish you the best of luck as you take us through certainly the next 5 years. Thank you so much. And to you at home, thank you for being a great audience. Thanks for watching and engaging, and we look forward to seeing you at the next one. Have a great day, everybody. Goodbye.